I was excited to do this walking tour of downtown Fort Collins for many weeks, but we had substantial amount of rain, so I was just looking for a sunny, clear day to be able to take you through a walking tour of downtown Fort Collins. So today, join me as we head from the east side of downtown Old Town Fort Collins and take you a tour in and around all of downtown Fort Collins, looking at Firehouse Alley, Jefferson, Linden Street remodel, the Exchange, and then traditional classical Old Town Square Fort Collins. Hope you guys enjoy this tour. We're going to take you through and give you some details around the area. Enjoy. Alrighty, so on the east side of Old Town, we look at the Melting Pot. This is a great place to go for, date nights and special occasion. It is a franchise, which, Fort Collins is all about kind of mom and pop, but the Melting Pot is somewhere that we enjoy going really pretty much for most Valentine's Days, but you do need to reserve far in advance these days. This is actually the old Lyric building, the Lyric, which is now off of North College, but the Pat Stryker and the Bohemian Foundation now own this. I'm not sure exactly what they're planning to do on the renovation, but she took what was the Armadillo and made this phenomenal world-class hotel, the Elizabeth, that we've done staycations at, and anybody who's coming into town, we suggest that this is where they go and check it out. Elevations Credit Union bought this. There was an old kind of auto shop. They tore it down, built that 3-story building, really pretty gorgeous. That building that you kind of see on the corner there, the Bohemian Foundation built that in 2008. That is where they house their offices. As we kind of go here, you see a little bit of a coffee shop on the right and the Emporium, which is really a good high-end restaurant that you can make a reservation at. You don't have to stay at the hotel, but they serve some phenomenal dishes there. And then up above is the Sunset Lounge. Looking back here is back to the Firehouse Alley, which there will be some retail and restaurants as you go. Illegal Pete's bought these 3 buildings, which was Leroy's Locksmith. There's a comic store. There is some difficulties for them to remodel, but that being said, they do own those 3 buildings. Looks like they're trying to lease them out now, but great little burrito shop. It used to be the Goodwill, and they did a phenomenal reservation. The Right Life, which has been around this building, the owners have owned this building for many times. Domicile is now there, which is kind of a furniture shop, and then the Right Life for your frisbee golfing, your frolfing on the backside of that building. You're looking at the stage there, but we're walking towards Linden Street. The Downtown Development Authority and City of Fort Collins did a $3 million plus renovation on this, and you're kind of going to walk through. It's a transitional walk to drivable street, so it can block off, but they built these kind of outdoor patios. This was a COVID project that is now stayed around. So the Blind Pig, which is a great place for lunch, now has this extra outdoor seating, and they really were able to integrate it well with the trees growing through, but having the outdoor seating, just really pretty beautiful, and then can light this up for concerts or events, festivals, and really make a walking and driving transitional street. And those kind of lights, they light up at night throughout the year, really pretty beautiful. But this old Firehouse Alley, here is a boring company. They're bringing Fort Collins connections to all of Old Town, our gigabyte speed municipal broadband. And all of Old Town is getting wired for that. And like my building at Oak Street was recently wired for, but you can see that there's just renovation kind of and remodeling going all over the place. The Fort Collins Mission, you kind of see in that back corner there, that's going to probably be moved here in the near future, but Old Elk is to our left. I just recently went there for a friend's birthday, but we're walking towards Jefferson Street, which is actually US 287 to pop onto Highway 14. And this is a really pretty strong barrier for Old Town Fort Collins. We haven't really developed too much north, but recently, the Union, the Confluence, there is Willow Street apartments that we're going to see here shortly, but it used to be this real, and it still is a pretty hard boundary, but the development is going north, and apartments and condos and the walkability of that, the River District is really what's happening. So there you're seeing the Union building, kind of a fun craft soda place, but kind of not blighted area. I would say blighted for Old Town, Jefferson Street, but we're walking kind of, I would say, northwest along Jefferson. So Jefferson Street, we'll see 20 to 30,000 vehicles per day. Now, the apartments that you're seeing there are a significant amount of apartments there off of Willow Street. And then as we continue to walk northeast, you'll see Millennial Tattoo, which is actually where I got my tattoo, my very first tattoo when I turned 18. They've been there for many years. And you can kind of see to our right, the Rodizio Grill that used to be kind of a railroad that they're building, that they converted. And these are the Pine Street condos. These were built in 2004 and really with nothing else there at the time. So they were kind of pioneers in this area. But then fortunately in 2018, the Exchange was built. And we're going to walk through that here shortly. But Nuance Chocolate is on this kind of pathway. The Welsh Rabbit's on the backside on Walnut Street. But Pine Street's still kind of seen as a kind of a through street, not much going on there besides, you're parking to walk somewhere else. But there are little restaurants, and we're gonna come up to, again, Old Firehouse Alley, which is actually where a lot of people take pictures. We took our engagement photos here. Alleys in Fort Collins are just a thing. The beautification of the alleys in Fort Collins is really something special. We'll walk through or walk near Trimble Court, but the Crooked Stave Brewing, and we're going to be walking into the Exchange. They're doing some type of renovation here, and this is actually Harper Goff Alley. So if you hear, Harper Goff was, a right-hand man, so to speak, for Walt Disney. He brought that back inspiration from Fort Collins to develop what is Main Street Disneyland. But we're walking into the Exchange, which you can kind of see those gates right there, which makes this place a open beverage ability because they can block off of these gates and kind of maintain kind of protection. But this is kind of a dead area. So we're walking through this on a Monday morning around 10 a.m. So of course, not a ton of activity on a Monday morning, but you will see it bustling and like at the seams on Friday, Saturday nights. Penrose, great restaurant, sit down, traditional CBM Pots, Fort Collins style, DC Oaks on the south side, Penrose on the north. There is City Drug, one of our oldest retailers in Fort Collins, along with Bojo's. Bojo's renovated that building just in the last decade when they kind of got pushed out of the Avery building, but great pizza place, kind of traditional Colorado style deep dish pizza that you eat your crust with honey. But we're coming up to Walnut, which turns into LaPorte Avenue. Walnut's definitely a downtown, the square area, but Walnut turns into LaPorte, and they're going to try to beautify and make this a walk-friendly area as people begin to and move more towards walking north. So this area is going to be more friendly as I walk across the street. Honestly, I did look, and then there is a car that kind of comes right behind me. But this is the Northern Hotel, which was built in 1873, one of the older buildings in Fort Collins. Now has senior living up above, retail down below, Starbucks. Transients definitely going to be hanging out here a little bit more as far as with the location on north, but Moe's Barbecue on the west side of US 287. So you do see this is College Avenue 287 that is kind of a 2-lane highway, goes slow through downtown, cuts through. All of this is lit up during the basically November 1st to February 14th. But we're going to have a lot of foot traffic and walking traffic here. This is really where people start to shop. So they're going to park, and this is where going to be the majority of foot traffic is. Even on a Monday morning at 10 a.m., people are going to get out, have breakfast, coffee, not a ton of traffic, but the Perennial Gardener, been there forever. John Atencio, the Elegant Pear. These are going to be retails that have been there for, many, many years that really draw. These are mom and pop owned businesses. And then the Opera Galleria. So the Opera House built in the 1880s. Now the DDA owns that atrium, but there's going to be condos above, retail down below, but, kind of a interesting place in Fort Collins for sure. Kansas City Kitty. We've got Yampa Sandwich here on the left, the Wags for your puppies. And then Trimble Court. This is probably one of the first kind of beautifications of an alley in Fort Collins. We're looking down here. You got the town pump to your right, but flowers, a catwalk down there, and just cool streetlights, just very pretty and well-kept alley, which you just don't see everywhere. But looking again over here, we've got Austin's, Mary's Mountain Cookies, good restaurants, good snack places to grab. And then we've got the Avery building that, the Palmers, a very prominent family here in Fort Collins, owns this building. Great retail, ground floor retail with commercial office spaces above. What I'm going to look at here right now is going to be kind of some flowers, some pretty landscape that just again, Fort Collins just does it right downtown. And here we are at ground zero at College Avenue and Mountain, US 287, College Avenue, Mountain Avenue. Really just, this is ground zero. This is the main spot. This is probably our most heavily foot trafficked area in all of Fort Collins. So on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's gonna just be, booming. It'll be interesting. I believe they're talking about a sushi restaurant here or mainline, sorry. But this used to be next door, but there's office above. This is where Bojo's used to be until rents got too expensive and they pushed them out a little bit. But we're gonna be walking into what's traditional, historic Old Town Square. Now, this was restored and they did a multi-million-dollar project. The Downtown Development Authority owns this plaza. Lots of great now sitting area, hundreds of thousands of dollars goes into the planting of flowers every year. But yeah, we're looking at a cool bench, Old Town Square, Fort Collins. But we're gonna walk through here and you're just gonna see, cool restaurants. This is where, you got a historic Avery building right there. And actually a lot of this area was redeveloped in the 1980s. It was kind of dangerous and dirty and not as wonderful as what you see today. Not bad, but the darker red brick building right there. And then the lighter red brick buildings that you'll see were 1880s, early 1900s. And then the dark red brick buildings were in the 1984s and what made this plaza. And then you've got art throughout. You've got the Bear and Fish where kids are going to come and play. You've got Ben and Jerry, so if you're coming and you're looking for ice cream and just to enjoy Sierra, good, affordable women's clothing in there. And then the fountain that's been there has not moved. The fountain has not moved, but what did move was the stage. The stage was where that splash pad used to be. And if you're looking for a good lunch, Cooper Smith's Pub and Brewing, one of the original gangsters as far as local small brew pubs, brewing your own beer. Alleyway, again, back there, there's going to be a new retail restaurant over there. The Miller Block in the 1880s, one of the most traditional Fort Collins buildings. And then we're looking at the stage where you could see yoga, movies, concerts. The stage is open to the public with a permitted use. And then again, this is going to be 201 Linden. This is where you're going to see a traditional Fort Collins postcard. It's going to be that building. And we're looking out to Linden Street off of Walnut, back to the stage. All of the flowers, just wonderful. And then a new kind of entertainment, which is where we're gonna see a lot of restaurant, retail turning towards more entertainment style, South Broadway. And there is the Firehouse building, old Firehouse building, and really where the traditional Disneyland inspiration comes from. But 15 and 17 Old Town Square buildings, Aiken's kind of logoed clothing, and then again, Firehouse building right there. And we are looking northwest. Studio B, if you're looking to get your hair done, this is where you're gonna go. And then Witten Court, this is probably one of the on slate to be beautified alleys, because right now it's just a trash alley, not very pretty. And then we're looking at the Silver Grill. You can't see it too well there, but if you're coming to Fort Collins, taking a visit, go check out Silver Grill. And then here are a couple new retails. The Corner Slice, and then Foco's Smoke Shop, one of the first green states. Can't go without Foco's Smoke Shop. Actually, my wife and I were just talking about how, tacky it really looks. I prefer that to go somewhere else, but hey, you never know. But there you have it, the Fort Collins downtown walking tour. And hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you have any questions or anything specifically, whether it's the Elizabeth Hotel, you didn't see the Armstrong Hotel, we did show the walking path there. So hopefully you guys kind of understood the path that we took. But appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, take care.